Peltz, and this is Blind Grilling. And we're going to be killing two birds with one stone on this episode. We're going to talk about and grill some chicken breast, and we're going to be making some homemade fettuccine alfredo. Stay tuned, it's going to be delish. Sarah and I today are going to be cooking up some fettuccine alfredo, but we're also going to be talking about grilling chicken breast. This is something that a lot of people just seem to not be real thrilled about. It's something they want to do, but like they always seem to dry it out or talk about it. Just something about it isn't right. So what we've done is we've got the big green egg coming up to temp for a direct grill, direct cook. Going to do it between 350 and 400 degrees. We've got 5 chicken breasts. Now we're only going to be using 2 for the fettuccine alfredo, but the great thing about chicken breast, get it seasoned up, you grill it, and then you can use it for other dishes later on. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be seasoning up all of this chicken breast with our blindsided rub. This stuff is absolutely amazing on chicken breast, especially when you're using it in dishes like fettuccine alfredo. So we're not going to use any oil on this right now. It's just plain chicken breast. We've trimmed just a little bit of the fat off, and now it's just a matter of getting it seasoned up. Let's go ahead, finish seasoning that up. And like I said, we've got 5 chicken breasts here. We're going to go ahead and season them all up.
You're on both sides?
Yep. We'll turn them over. Sometimes if you can pound them down if you want. You already turned that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get these seasoned out a little bit more, I think.
Haven't done it yet.
Okay, no wonder. And then once the grill comes up to temp, we're going to put these on the grill, and probably around 12 minutes per side. But we're going to pay attention to the internal temp. We want it right at 160. As soon as that hits 160, we're going to be pulling off these chicken breasts, and then and so probably between 25 and 30 minutes on the grill. And then what we'll do is we'll work on putting together the Alfredo sauce, homemade, that we do here. And so we've got some of that prepped already, and we'll walk you through putting that together, because man, it is absolutely delicious, and I think you guys will love doing it at home. So we're going to finish this up, and we'll be back in a few minutes. The big green egg is sitting at 380 degrees right now, and so we're going to open it up. We're going to stick this chicken breast right on this grill direct, and let me find where I'm at. There it is, right there. Finding that post. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one right over here. Here's 5. All right, so we got those on the grill. We're gonna close this down, and I'm gonna keep track of time. I'll probe them in a little bit, but after about 12 to 15 minutes, we're gonna turn them, and after we turn them, then we'll start keeping track of the internal temp. So Sarah is here and getting ready to start working on the Alfredo sauce. We're getting water ready for our noodles. We've got a large pot, about 2/3 full of water, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring it to a boil. And what we've added to that water is 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil and about 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning we've added to the water. We're going to bring that to a boil. Once it boils, we're going to add our fettuccine noodles and get them cooked and softened up. And in the meantime, Sarah is getting things ready to make the fettuccine sauce itself, Alfredo sauce. Adding the noodles. All right.
Got them all in.
Wahoo! All right. You didn't break them, did you? That's all right. Just kidding. So we've got our skillets. We use a cast iron skillet just anytime we can, really. But what are you going to start with, Sarah?
I'm going to start melting about a stick of butter over medium-low heat. And then once that melts, we'll add the cream and let it simmer.
And how much cream?
1/2 to 2/3 of a 32-ounce can.
Okay. All right. So let's get that butter melted, and then we'll be right back when we start adding the heavy whipping cream. All right, so she's got the butter melted. Go ahead, Sarah. What are you going to do?
So we're going to stir in about half to 2/3 of this heavy whipping cream. So we're just going to have to eyeball it, I guess.
That's perfect for me.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Every day.
Every day.
So we're going to let this simmer for about 5 minutes.
So bring it to a simmer. Keep stirring it. Make sure.
Occasionally, yeah.
Occasionally. Okay. So with the whisking, she's got a couple minutes left to go. It's really a good idea, especially if you can't see. Just keep whisking, all right? Whisk the entire 5 minutes once you've added your heavy whipping cream to your butter. A while ago, as she kind of slowed down, you could, my wife and Sarah, they could tell the butter, was kind of rising, getting up on the top. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that all that keeps getting together, keep it mixed together. So keep whisking for the entire 5 minutes. So our noodles are done. We've turned those off. We're going to let those sit because we may have to use that water in a minute. We'll talk about that. But we got the heat on medium-low, right, Sarah?
Yes.
All right, and so you've been whisking for about 5 minutes. So what are you adding now?
We've added a clove of minced garlic, and now we're adding a cup of mozzarella cheese and a cup of Parmesan cheese, both finely grated.
All right. So we actually grated that here. So we didn't buy anything that was pre-shredded. A lot of that pre-shredded stuff, they add things to it to keep it from sticking together, and it seems to affect the way it melts. So we buy the block cheese and we'll shred it ourselves. So you got the garlic, and which you minced a clove of garlic, and then what were the two cheeses again?
Parmesan and mozzarella.
Parmesan and mozzarella, and a cup of each.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Then we have cream cheese as well.
And cream cheese.
About 2 ounces.
Okay. All right, and then you get 2 ounces, and then you've switched from a whisk to a spoon.
Yes.
And you're just going to kind of start mixing that together. And you don't have much more to add as far as that. The sauce is almost complete, right? There's a little bit. Is there anything else we're going to add?
We're going to add parsley, rosemary, and then some Italian seasoning.
Okay, but that not just yet, right? We want to melt the cheese.
Correct.
And as we talked about the water a while ago. So as that cheese is melting, as we start to incorporate everything, if your Alfredo sauce starts to get a little too thick, you can take that water from your noodles and use a little teaspoon or so and ladle out some of that water and add to your Alfredo sauce to kind of thin it just a little bit. Of course, we've already added the oil and seasoning to that water, so things will be nice and consistent with our flavor profile if we have to add water to our sauce. Folks, it's been probably just over 12 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and turn this chicken over. Whew, should have wore another glove, but that's all right. So I know I got one right here. Fighting my tongs here. Ah, there we go. So that one's to the right, and then I got 4 sitting over here. Wait on. There's the other. There's 4. And there's 5. So we've got them turned. We're going to let those go a little bit. Probably another 12 to 15 minutes. And then we're going to start checking the internal temp. So Sarah, go ahead. The cheese is melted. So what are you getting ready to add?
So we're going to add the 2.5 tablespoons of parsley. And we're going to add about a teaspoon of rosemary.
Okay, and that was dry rosemary, but you went ahead and chopped up a little bit finer.
Yes.
To get it incorporated.
We're going to stir that in, and then we're going to add about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning.
All right.
So we're just going to mix all that together.
And that's pretty much it, right?
Yep.
All right, so the only thing now is to keep track of how thick it gets. If you want it thinner or thicker, if you want it thicker, let it go longer. If you want it thinner, because it gets too thick, you can take a little bit of water, as we talked about earlier, from the noodles. and add it to thin it out just a little bit. But other than that, it's Alfredo sauce is
Good to go?
good to go. Man, this stuff is amazing. You guys got to try this simple recipe at home. You guys are going to love it. So Sarah did a little taste test. We need just a little bit of salt and pepper. You did what, about a teaspoon and a half of pepper?
Yeah, and a teaspoon and a half of Himalayan salt.
Okay, and we're using the Himalayan salt. Awesome. Love the Himalayan salt. All right, so we'll do that. We'll do another taste test in a little bit, see how it is, and
Go from there.
go from there. Yep, we'll get ready to pull that chicken off the grill when it's done, and take the 2 breasts for this meal and slice it up and get ready to plate. Folks, we're gonna check this chicken breast out and probe like the one in the back. Got our talking thermometer. So it's climbing.
Yeah, this is a 168.
Okay, it's definitely done then. So 168 on that one. So like I said, breast we want at 160, between 160 165. So we'll take these in and cut them up and eat good. So Sarah's got 2 of our chicken breasts here on our cutting board, and she's going ahead and slicing those up kind of thin. That's what we're going to be using for our fettuccine alfredo. The other chicken breasts, we're just going to stick in the fridge. We'll put them in a Ziploc, stick them in the refrigerator, and we'll use them for some other dishes. We've got something called jalapenos that we make. It's an amazing dish that maybe be another video for another time. But right now we're getting ready to, after she finishes slicing these 2 chicken breasts, we're going to plate up our fettuccine alfredo. We'll show you plated what it looks like and give a taste test. In fact, let me taste that.
It's not a video without you taste testing.
Wow. That chicken went about 22 minutes between 350 and 375. Man, I'm telling you, that rub is amazing on chicken breast. It's still juicy and tender. This is going to be great on that Alfredo. All right, so Sarah, you've got a pair of tongs, right? You're going to take the noodles out of the water, let them drip a little bit, and you're going to go ahead and get them in the sauce so they can start getting coated in the sauce.
Yep.
And then after that, we're about ready to plate, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So you get that out. You're going to stir them up once you get them in. And we didn't have, we went ahead and turned the heat off on the sauce. We didn't have to add any of the water because it turned out amazing. We did add a little bit more salt from what we had on video a while ago, but other than that, everything is going well. Got the chicken ready to add as soon as she gets that mixed up and the noodles coated with the sauce. All right, so Sarah's going to go ahead and plate up and put the Alfredo and noodles on a plate, and then reach over and get some chicken. Just lay that right on top. Do we have a fork out?
Don't forget the bread.
And the bread, yeah. And what we've got for bread, we've got some garlic Texas toast that we just put in the oven, which just goes amazing with this stuff, so we love it. You taste test. Tell us what you think.
Sweet.
Tell us what you think. The chicken, yeah, because Hannah's over here. She's tried the chicken.
I
She
would
likes
gladly
it.
eat food.
It's alright. Suck it up! Suck it up! Does that mean it was good? I don't know. Alright, we're having fun. Folks, give this recipe a try. I think you guys will definitely enjoy it. It's super simple. You can grill chicken way ahead of time if you want, and you could actually add it to the sauce and let it kind of come back up to temperature in the sauce, to kind of reheat it. If you use the chicken on this recipe on another day, you can grill a bunch of that chicken in advance. So give it a try. Appreciate everybody watching Blind Grilling. Remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking.